Hello, my name is Aaron Carrington and welcome to this beginner guitar lesson on how to play the chords to Last Christmas by Wham, one of my personal favourite Christmas songs. Before we actually get zoomed in on the guitar neck, let me run a couple of things by you as I normally do. First of all, we're going to learn the strumming pattern. The strumming pattern is that staple strumming pattern that every guitarist should know, and I always say that for this strumming pattern, and it's the old down, down, up, up, down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. This year to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Okay, so you kind of get the idea where that strumming pattern fits in there. The next thing we of course need to know are the chords. We have ourselves a 4-chord song. This song has the same 4 chords all the way through. And those 4 chords are as follows. We have D major, we have B minor, we have E minor, and we also have A. And always remember that A major, the same thing, D major, same thing. You don't have to say the major thing. Whenever you don't say major, it's implied, okay? Now, the B minor, of course, as you can see, is a bar chord. So I'm going to give you an alternative version of that. What you can actually do, instead of barring the whole thing, you can just take your first finger and move it down to the high E, and we'll get zoomed in on that in just a second to give you this version of B minor. Makes it a little more accessible. And if you do stick around through the video, I'll also show you how to play this song with a capo at the 2nd fret, which makes it slightly easier because you avoid bar chords altogether. So, without further ado, for your benefit, let's get zoomed in. So let's get a closer look at the chords that are used. This is our D major chord. We're going to place our first finger on fret 2 of the G string. We're going to place our second finger on fret 2 of the high E string. And then we're going to place our third finger on fret 3 of the B string. And then we're not going to strum the low E, we're not going to strum the A string, we're going to strum everything from the D string downwards. And those are our 4 notes of D major. Now here's a little note about D major. Sometimes you'll see people bringing the thumb over to mute the low E and the A string so that when you're strumming, you don't actually have to worry about the low E and the A. So if you can get that thumb over and you can mute those strings there, that's not a problem. That's a very common thing that people do, rather than trying to be super accurate with your strumming hand, which can be ultra difficult in the beginning. On to the infamous B minor bar chord. Okay, so as always with your bar chords, it's important to pay attention to the position of the thumb. So my thumb is kind of lined up with my first and second finger. It's kind of in between them, roughly. And I'm kind of pushing against my thumb a little bit. Or I was in the beginning. It doesn't feel like that anymore because I've now built up the strength. But if you need to kind of push between your first finger and your thumb to get that bar chord to sit, then that's something you can play about with. But as for where the fingers actually go, well, first of all, to get the bar, we would actually just bar across the 2nd fret as is, all right? Without adding any of the other fingers. And just see if you can get a clear sound from the 5 strings that aren't the low E string. All right? And if you're struggling with that, you might go up to the 5th fret and work your way down, all right? Just getting that 1 finger. But if you're already comfortable with bar chords, what you can do is, once you've got your first finger bar in, your second finger goes to fret 3 of the B string. Whoops. Then your third finger goes to fret 4 of the D string, and your pinky goes to fret 4 of the G string. And altogether you get a nice B minor bar chord. Now if that is too difficult, there's a couple of ways you can make this a little bit easier. The first way is to bring the first finger and not play the high E and not do the bar, but put the first finger on the A. You'll see now that my first finger is arched. So when it's barred, it's like that. But when it's on the A, it's like this. And I'm only going to play the inside 4 strings there. Or I can take that first finger and move it down to the high E and play those 4 strings instead. So whichever one of those versions of B minor works best for you, you go with that one. So once we've gone and done the B minor chord, we're going to do the E minor by putting the first finger on fret 2 of the A and the second finger on fret 2 of the D, and then we strum all of the strings, like so. And then once we've done E minor, we do the A chord. Now, we play an A chord by putting the first finger on the second fret of the D, the second finger on the second fret of the G, the third finger on the third fret of the B, and then strumming all the strings except the low E. Again, if you want to bring that thumb up, if you can manage that, that might be difficult. You can mute the low E, you won't have to worry about your strumming so much. Okay, and again, with your A chord, if you're struggling to squeeze those fingers in, swap over the first and second. Okay, swap those two over. So now the first is on fret 2 of the G and the second is on fret 2 of the D. You've swapped strings. And that stops you feeling such a tight squeeze with the A chord there. Or you could try the bar chord version. For those of you who've watched my one finger videos, you'll know that I place my first finger across the D, G and B strings, and that's going to give us an A chord, and then we just strum the inside 4 strings. So a couple of alternative chords for you there as well on the A chord. And then of course it's just a question of adding the strumming pattern onto those chords that we talked about at the start. Down, down, up, down, up, 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 until we go through all 4 chords, and that repeats throughout the entire song. Now in the intro I did mention that I'll show you how to play this song with a capo on the second, so you can avoid bar chords altogether if you really want to. Okay, so capo's there, comfortably sitting on the second fret. Let's just test that out there. Yeah, okay, we're good. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our C chord. Now in reality this is still a D chord, but we're going to call it a C chord because that's the shape that it is on the guitar. Okay. And to get that C chord, first finger on fret 1 of the B, second finger on fret 2 of the D, third finger on fret 3 of the A, and we strum all of the strings except the low E string. That gives us our C. Then we go to A minor, first finger on fret 1 of the B, second finger on fret 2 of the D, third finger on fret 2 of the G, squeezing in under that second finger there. And again we strum the same 5 strings with the strumming hand. Once we've done the A minor, we do a D minor chord. First finger is on fret 1 of the high E, second finger is on fret 2 of the G, and then third finger is on fret 3 of the B. And we strum the 4 strings closest to the floor. We don't strum the low E or the A string, just 4 strings this time. And when we've done that, we go to our G chord. So to get a G chord, first finger on fret 2 of the A, second finger on fret 3 of the E, and then third finger on fret 3 of the high E. And then the other strings are all open and you strum all 6 strings. So if you were to strum those chords and sing along, last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Okay, so there are your chords there, just so you can hear how that goes, and the strumming pattern is obviously going to stay the same. If you do want some more materials for this song, check out the link in the description, and that will take you to a chord chart and some chord diagrams on my website, so I can help you guys out even more there. Drop a comment in the comments section if that video was useful to you, and if you want more like this, check out what's on your screen now.